So on today's video, we're going to fit the panels and get this ass end of this car looking like a 1970 Camaro. In the previous videos, we removed the quarters and we moved this tail panel. So let's go ahead and put a new tail panel on, center it up, because you need to get the tail panel centered. That way you can move your quarters into it. So what I like to do is center up with the key switch hole. Especially if you still got everything here. If you removed everything completely and replacing your trunk pans and all that to 70, then you need your quarters and everything on to adjust. But I'm going to go on the center panel first and then adjust my rear quarters into it. Sounds simple enough. We'll see. What I got here is a panel, and this is the part number 7073. They make different panels. AMD, if you could afford it, would be a better panel than this one, but you know, for us conversion on a Camaro, this panel does just great. Ain't like we were storing a true 70 model. I got that pretty centered up the first try, but that gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. I still need to trim out under these just a little bit more, and we should be good to go. So next step is going to be me finish trimming inside these, because they do need trim like the new quarter sections, the same edge. So what I did is took me an angle grinder and I cleaned up all the edges and stuff that we might be spot welding to, and dressed these up, made these smooth underneath just like the panels that we have. I made these inside here smooth like the panel here pretty much, so we have an equal amount on the inside as we do on the outer side. We don't have no loop like the factory would have had. So let's go ahead and center up the tail panel and take 5 scripts, hold it on there, get the sides all centered up, and spot weld some. Get this car looking good. So I have a fitment challenge with the trunk hole here, right here. So what I'm going to do is just do away with this completely out across here, take it completely out, and then spot weld to the new panel with this pre-existing one. It's simple. It'd be a little bit harder to line up. I got to mark this in the center. So we went ahead and I put 2 little dots in the center of that, but you still can get an idea of the center by the latch right here. So I went ahead and cut this completely out. You know, ain't no use trying to work around it. I just removed it. Then we grab my tail panel over here, and then we'll try to set it on. So that gives you an idea of the car panel. It just held on with some vice grips. Everything tucks under extremely nice right here, and it's not forced. That's actually the way it's setting. We can tweak this out by just a little, but all in all, it looks extremely good. So the next thing I suggest is do the side panels, and we're going to do this side panel. So before we go fitting this, go ahead and put your spot welds in it where you think you're going to have some. We know we're going to have some up under the bottom here and some on the side. You can drill these spot welds, or you can go ahead and tack the panel on up top and then drill your spot welds. But I have this tool right here. It works wonders for punching holes and making spot welds. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then I come back and we'll fit this panel. So this is the panel after we put spot welds all in it so we can weld to our panels. So let's go ahead and get fitment. Now if you ain't got some of these, I highly suggest you get these. These help hold the panel on, give you a perfect gap, and whoops, I dropped a piece, but it pretty well lines everything up good, gives you plenty of room for movement, and if you ain't got a helper, it comes in extremely handy to have these. So I'm going to go ahead and install these and see how our panel fits. So this is the panel fitted with the little fitment things. You can see we got a nice gap all the way around. Now what we're getting ready to do is fit the other side, adjust the panels, and just tack this on today. This is fitment, so you want to do your tack welds ever so often. That way if you do need to readjust, you can cut your tack welds off. You do not want to go welding these panels on, because you might make a mistake and need to adjust them a little bit. So the less tack welds you got on it, the better. But this panel looks good. I'm happy what's at. So I'm going to put about 5 tacks onto it. Move on to the other side and tack it on as well. Then adjust side to side on the tail panel. So let's go ahead and get to welding this panel on. Attach your ground somewhere nice and groundy. It should work for us. Hopefully. Sometimes you can attach to one of these. I'm just going to tack this in and you'll see. Ooh, that's hot. So what I did, I went ahead and tacked around the edges here. Now I'm going to remove this and move me a couple more here so I can get that panel nice and straight. So I'm going to leave the bottom part not spot welded in at the moment because I do treat the joints in where my spot welds go with like cavity wax and stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and tack in between each one of these. This is nice and smooth now. We'll use more fittings once we got that in tacked. So I tack here, 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 here. And we should be good to go. So this panel turned out very nice. Very smooth to the touch. Won't take much grinding to level it down before we can apply a body filler to it. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did on this side. On the other side, I'm going to take me a little break. And then we're going to make sure that tail panel is centered up all nice. Then we're going to finish tacking everything in place. And everything should be good. I actually put a little too many tacks up here, but I was very happy with the fitment. Very confident in the fitment, so I went ahead and tacked everything. So on the panel fitment, let's go over what I did. I welded all this up. This is done with 0.35 welding wire. Use a smaller gauge wire and it won't build up so high, but that's what a grinder's for. You grind it down. Nothing warped here. Looks really good. This whole panel is now installed. Let's go down to the side here. We got all this welded up. All up here is connected and level. What I did was, once we got this, I had to tap this over just a little, and then we kind of made it flush. Had to do a little bit of trimming, especially down here and around here. You can see a welded wire was a little too big, but you know, you're going to get these if you weld a lot. Right here, especially if your welder's acting up. The one I got, the Hobart, kind of old, starting to show its age. It's acting up. Probably going to get a new welder to finish this project with. Still got to connect this. If you see this is overhanging here, yours will too. We need to take a cutoff wheel and go up this and cut that off, make it all flush. Or you can leave that body line, it's up to you. This side we did the same thing. We done applied some Duralast over welds on this section here. It helps waterproof them if you got little pinholes or anything. Try to keep the pinholes out of it, but what it does is not only it helps waterproof, but it helps strengthen the panels. And you will have to use a grinder to pretty well cut this stuff if you use Duralast. Panel fitment on this side, had to do the same thing. Cut, trim it, tap it in with a hammer. We had to add a little piece here. And you can see we got this about welded up. Once we do, grind all this down smooth. If we got any big pinholes, weld them up. Then Duralast it all. Then start shaping it. The top panel, all welded up. I do got a coating on these welds to keep them from rusting. We spot welded this in. This is a stock 79 trunk panel latch. We are going to be removing this gas tank, putting a 70s model on it. You see our spot welds here. You can see inside we ain't did the trunk for yet. Joe will have a video on that coming soon. This is the video on the stock trunk. That's the stock trunk for. Everything will be made to go into this panel, spot welded on, seam sealed. Looks pretty good. So yeah, that's the panel fitment on this Camaro. It's looking good. Everything's level. When you center this up, as I said before, just make sure everything's centered. Don't want nothing offset. But for a 70s Camaro conversion on a budget, looks extremely good. So if it's something you're into and you're new and just found this video, get subscribed. Leave me a comment. I enjoy hearing from everyone. And if you ain't new and you've been watching, thanks for watching. See you next time.